And so sexuality is all about it's all about the body. You understand? The body. You understand? The body's role in displaying, okay, God's work or His creation. It's all about the body's role in displaying. That's why you actually aware about yourself the day your mother told you to sit properly. Kasema mbona nisisikae kama brother yangu, mbona sivai kama brother, you know, why am I not dressing like my brother or my sister? That's the when this clear sexuality came to pass, you understand? So that's the beginning of it.
So let me ask you a question. Sexuality was there from the beginning. But why is it important that we talk about it? Like, you know, as millennials, we have a problem. We have to ask why all the time. Even though we know we shouldn't ask why, but we ask why. So on behalf of the millennials, why should we have that conversation on sexuality?
Because I think this is where we are missing it, you know. Because we are not talking about it. We are only talking about sexual purity, and we're not talking about the genesis of sexual purity. We're talking about sexual lust. We're not talking about the beginning of sexual lust, you understand? So that's why we need to talk about it. I need to make you aware about how you are is not your fault. How you are, you don't need to adjust it to make anyone happy. As much you say it's good to improve on yourself, but there's an improvement that you can do that will damage you. You understand? So so that's why we need to talk about it. We can't stop talking about it.
Actually, when you mentioned the aspect of how you are, you need to be happy about it. It reminds me of our fellowship yesterday, where we were talking about the aspect of learning to love yourself first as you are. That's what Joyce Meyer was also preaching, and I think it's something that people will pick from our lessons at the end of all these sessions. So I would like to ask the third question, and now I want looking at it from an angle of somebody who's looking for spiritual guidance or looking for a spiritual backing. Where does sexuality come about as a discussion in the Bible?
It comes about from the beginning, you know. When God made Adam and Eve, He made it for a good two reasons. The first thing, He made Adam to play the creator's role. You understand? And He made Eve to play the creation role. You understand what I'm talking about? I mean, Adam was supposed to show us the grace that God carries, how God does things. You understand? Eve was supposed to show the beauty of God, how He made the animals and everything. That's why when Eve came in the life of Adam, Adam said, "This is good. This is beautiful."
Very good.
So Adam, any male was supposed to do the creator's role, to show how God is magnetic, how God is caring, how God knows how to mention things. And Eve was supposed to bring the beauty part. That's why every man will try to flex his muscle, show himself off. And every woman will show her beauty off. Women don't show off. Women show their beauty. If you find women competing, they don't compete about which car is beautiful. A woman will compete how their skin complexion is good. You understand? But a man will come and show off in terms of which kind of car. You should go to attention. That's how it was supposed to be. And it was from the beginning. The reason it was there from the Bible, it started from the book of Genesis chapter 2. You understand? It should show that males were supposed to show the creator's role, what God was supposed to do. And the women were supposed to bring what to call the creation's role, the beauty of everything. So it is there from the beginning. I'm not talking about something that is in the Revelations. Something is in Genesis.
Okay, so technically, are you implying there is a difference in sexuality for both men and women? Like, do they display different characteristics or trends in their sexuality?
Definitely. Like I've told you, men are born to show off. Men is muscles. You understand? A man will show muscle. You understand? You talk about how strong I am. A man will not talk about how handsome I am or how beautiful I am. Men don't care about that. You understand? So that's what brings the difference. That's why I tell you, sexuality is all about feelings. How men feel about things is totally different from how women feel. You see, if you talk about the physical appearance of a man will not care so much. But tell a woman you look like this, they will carry you to the grave if you're not careful. Unless you ask for mercy. You understand? How
Let me give
women,
you an example, yeah?
pardon, yeah?
An example of how men are into muscle and women are into a bit of appearance. So, this son of a man,
Mm.
one day, just looked at me properly and told me I had a flabby stomach. Up to today, when I see that person, I remind him what he told me. Because in my own understanding, I believe a woman was meant to have, like, toned tummies and that figure eight and everything. I used to feel like that was what my sexuality would be all about. But at least I'm learning more.
So
So,
I think what I'm trying, that's what I'm talking about. You see, you're raised
uh-huh,
in a way thinking that this is how we. That's why I told you, sexuality is more than the physical. You understand? Most people may have the physical appearance, but they don't feel good about themselves. They don't think good
yeah.
about themselves. They are always attracted to the wrong thing. They have the wrong behavior. That's why I say the sexuality is more about the physical. It's not that most people
Mm,
have been told those things. And I'll try to tell you, whatever you are going with that person, just forgive him. The person was talking out of a point of ignorance. You understand? You now, you should now
true.
deal better with yourself, understand yourself. It will be easy to forgive. And you see, and
Mm,
also that's what I'm saying for every woman also listening, if you're not
mm,
comfortable with yourself, no one will ever make you comfortable. Because you may
yeah.
listen to a report somewhere, you may listen to some, maybe something there, people discussion, and you may think they're discussing
Mhm.
you. But generally, they are not even discussing you. It's only because you have never
Yeah.
been comfortable with how you are. You
Mhm.
understand? So that's why we are talking about this, so that you don't end up doing what you don't need to do for the sake of doing.
Mhm.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. So, wouldn't you then agree that the society has contributed more to how we feel about ourselves, like our inadequacies? I feel like there's a lot of contribution that comes from the society because the society puts it in a way that sexuality is only perfect when it looks like so and so, or when it takes a certain tone, or when it takes a certain body figure. Don't you feel, or rather, don't you agree that society has really contributed to how we perceive our sexuality and the reasons as to why we feel a little bit less than who we actually are?
Yeah, I can agree with you. And that I'll tell it, say it in a four-way option, you understand? Long time
Mm-hmm.
ago, men used to dress in fila or in fubu,
Mm.
you understand? Because
Yeah.
that was that thing that time. They thought if I wear this, yeah, I'm cool, you know? I look fine, you know? You find a boy, maybe they're sagging and their pants are out because I'm cool, you understand? Long time ago, a woman will wear a skirt which has a big slit, maybe in front or backwards or sideways, because that is it. And I can tell you what brought all those things are so simple. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
celebrities. Most of us we
Mm-hmm.
dream we see from celebrities. We'll
Yeah.
say, what I saw a celebrity wearing, I'll dress like that. Most people maybe used to watch hip hop or anything, they will dress like a hip hop guy. You understand? Number two, we can talk
Mm-hmm.
about conversations. What was the conversation in the street? Hey, do you have the new
Mm-hmm.
dirty jeans? You need to wear it. Only cool guys or cool ladies wear something like that, you know? And the last thing is what is
Mm-hmm.
trending? You know, what is trending? And I can say society has done. That's why we are here. I'm not saying whatever society is doing is bad. It's good for you,
Mm-hmm.
but also here, so much we are here. I'm not trying to amplify what the society is doing. I'm trying to amplify you, that we be renewed by the renewal of our mind. You need to understand that you're not defined by what is trending. You're not defined by
Yeah.
conversations. You understand?
Uh-huh.
Just the
Yeah.
best beautiful dress, but never be married.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because they're not in
Yeah.
touch with you. So that's why I say sexuality is more than that. And it's true, the society is a big influence. Like now, there's
Mm-hmm.
this, I was being told, I don't know what it's called, this jeans that is torn everywhere. There's a name it is called, I forgot.
Ripped jeans. Or you
What?
have another term. Ripped.
Ripped. Yeah, you see,
Yes.
ripped. Now everyone is wearing ripped. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But where did it come from? If you ask someone, where did it come from? Someone will not know. But someone saw
Mm.
someone wearing it and felt like, hey, this thing is trendy. Let me just wear
Mm.
it. So they thought like
Mm-hmm.
it being cool. Try it. And if you ask them why am I wearing it, maybe they feel comfortable there, or they'll feel they'll get attention, or they feel they look
Yeah.
more. Understand? So it's all about that. The society plays a big role, but also you need to determine what the society will influence in your life. You know, you need to totally influence.
Okay, so before I move away from understanding sexuality, I want to understand something, yeah? A contrast between what the society defines as sexuality and the biblical or spiritual understanding of sexuality. What are some of the contrasts that you will find between the two?
I'll say it's so simple, you know. The world defines sexuality based on the physical, but the word of God defines sexuality about this, more about the soul. You understand? Yeah, you understand the soul. God, that's what the Bible says. What will it gain a man to earn the whole world and lose his soul?
And lose the soul.
And I think the sexuality part of it here is more about, that's to say, find a man will marry a woman not because of character, but because she's beautiful. But when they get there to marriage, they start praying, God, deliver me. God did not send you there because you were bodily oriented. But you see, God will define sexuality more about the soul. But also the same God makes sure you get something beautiful, something good, something presentable. You understand? Let me just ask you a simple question. No matter how you know, if you are supposed to go out today meet maybe the head of UN, how will you dress?
Of course, I'm going to dress my level best.
Or will you dress what is trending, or what will you dress?
Okay, so technically, if I were to meet the head of UN, first of all, there are these pair of heels I have. I never remove them from the box.
Generally, no. I'm just saying like in a general way. What is it that you will?
In general, I will have dress in what is trending, but on an official point.
On an official point. But why will you not wear ripped jeans? Ripped jeans is trending.
Hey, ripped jeans is not for the office. But they will not consider me as a
coffee. Maybe I'm meeting him or her for coffee.
Let me tell you, you see such a person, even if you're meeting them for coffee, they're judging you from that least moment, that moment where you do not have your guard on. They're watching you. I don't think I would go for ripped jeans coffee with them.
Now, you already said they're judging you, they're watching you. That's the difference. When it comes to Christianity, we should always know God is watching and is always record. Because sexuality, according to the scriptures, is all about the soul. That's why I give you someone of quality like that. But when it comes to the physical, people, society do not care about the soul. He said, there's a name people used to say, mabazi yangu, chaguo langu, something like that, you know. You understand?
My dress, my choice.
Yeah, you understand. But you forget that someone is watching. You understand? And God is saying, why don't you eat? Why another man's meat is another man's poison? You understand? And Paul is saying, be careful what you have does not destroy another one's faith. So what is God to say through Paul is that what you are dressing should not influence anything rather than the build-up of the soul. So the difference of sexuality in Christianity and sexuality outside there is all about the soul. If you behave badly, you go sleep with a married woman or a married husband, the word of God will judge you based on the soul. You understand? Go sleep with an animal, God is looking at you based on the soul. He's not minding the act, he's minding the soul state. So sexuality in Christianity is all about your soul. They will just say you will be careful what to wear. The same, always be conscious. That's why we are talking today. Whatever you're doing, ask yourself, how is your soul reflected to your sexuality day in, day out? And remember, sexuality is your behavior, your attractions, your thoughts, and your feelings. Yeah.
I thought I lost you for a moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that we've talked about the aspect of now that we've talked about the aspect of watching and recording, my question then will be, according to sexuality, like with regards to sexuality, is there forgiveness? Is there room for forgiveness?
Yeah, you see, the Bible says the days of ignorance will be forgiven. You understand? They shall not be forgiven. If you're ignorant about something, It's like now you find a young girl who's 3 years old, is a young boy has worn a dress. Will you punish the boy? You won't punish
No,
the boy.
definitely.
Yeah, because the boy is ignorant. You understand?
Yeah.
But when you
Yeah.
have come to a point of knowledge and you know very well, this thing will influence this. You understand? I'm not saying it's wrong to dress well, but just with all due respect, maybe some people will not agree with me, but I'll just need to say it. What is the point if you want to be settled or married and the guy you're going out with, you need to show him them your cleavage? Who wants to see your cleavages? You understand? You understand? It's not, don't people think maybe it's attractive. There's nothing attractive by that. You know what I'm talking about? You see, because we buy it differently. And you see, that's why your mom said you're talking about it in terms of a Christian's perspective. Someone in the world will say this, it does not matter, you know. But for me, I'll tell you it matters because you can be forgiven, but don't do it deliberately. You understand?
Yeah.
If I was here, me and you, I've removed all my clothes. How will you think about me right now? So look at this guy. We are coming. What's happening with you? You see, now that one is punishable because even you yourself, you'll judge me for that. Because, and you can't forgive me for that because why? I did it at a point of knowledge. If you do anything outside knowledge, you are forgiven. But if you do something knowing, now you need to ask for mercy. You know, you need to seek God for mercy. You understand?
God remember mercy. Yeah. Okay. So I want us to take a serious dive now into things that are more concrete with regards to sexuality. And I want us to look specifically at, you see, when a baby is born, they are very innocent, yeah? And then they get to interact with more people and get exposed to more things, and then choices are made. Now, what I'd like us to discuss are those interactions in between. And the question that I want to ask you is with regards to sexuality and behavior. I want us to look at the causative agents in detail. We subscribe to different sexual orientations at some point in our life. While some are heterosexual, others are homosexual, others are different types of sexuality that I don't know. But let's go to the root cause of what makes us that way. And I'd like to ask, are there events in our lives or are there things that we come to engage in or things that we experience that shape us the way we are in our sexuality?
Yeah, definitely. You know, how you grow plays a big role. You understand? Your environment also plays a big role. You're being born in the middle of the only, yeah, the only people you see are more male, and you're a male. You understand? And and you see sometimes these things comes by adoration, because for any feelings to be directed in a particular way, you must adore someone. You understand? Yes, a woman. That is where we really see a woman can tell each other, "I love you, I miss you," but a man saying that, you say, "What's up with you?" You understand?
Hey, what's going on? What's not right?
So, okay, you tell me what's the difference.
Okay, I'm going to approach this totally from a worldly point of view, not a worldly point of view.
Okay, tell me.
So, looking at the society alone and the amount of society that I have interacted with, the society is quickly embracing the whole idea of a harmonious relationship between those who embrace homosexuality and those who embrace heterosexuality. Now, for men are not driven by emotions. Men are rarely driven by emotions. So, when one man hears a fellow man tell them, "I love you," okay, first of all, you're going to be like, one, whatever you're doing is very, I hope nobody takes offense with me saying this, but it seems to be very female in nature, yeah? Because women are more prone to emotions. So the first question in my mind will be, if I were a man, would be, if you are a man like me, and you are meant to show muscle more than appearance, or rather you're supposed to show more resilience than emotion, why are you showing emotion? So I think the reason why a lot of people will have questions with the sexuality of such a man is the fact that they have opened up their channels of emotions and they're letting them to be, seen by everybody. But I don't know. I think maybe a man will give us a response, then we will understand more.
No, I'm laughing because you said a man has opened a channel of emotion, so men are not supposed to be emotional.
As per the society, disclaimer. I gave that disclaimer.
I'm trying to tell you. When I become heterosexual or homosexual, is the society. And you see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Actually, it all has to do with society. Where are you growing? And also has to do with the mind frame. Most people are maybe going to a girls' school from the first year. They made their best friend, and the friend became their good friend. You understand? Until someone started feelings towards the other. And you see, feeling comes by adoration. I just told you, when you adore someone, feelings are developed. You understand what I'm talking about? What happened? You understand? And this thing is not something that is new. It has been in the scripture from a long time ago. When the angels of God came to the house of God, the angels came and said, the people there came and said, we want these men who entered here. Lord, sacrifice our daughter for that. Because it was just abomination. How do you get attracted? It's adoration. Maybe the angels looked majestically. You understand? You see, and also it comes with this, maybe when someone is so used to a particular environment and they are wired like that, and they allow it to be wired. Naturally, every person was born of a woman. Say it be true. And no one can ever tell me they never have affection towards their mother. Everyone has. The same way, every daughter can tell me they can never say they have no affection towards their father. It's natural. As it tell you, based on scriptures, God wired you like that. But what changed in between is where you spend time with. Who do you talk about with? What do you accept with? You understand? Let me just ask you, if you had two girlfriends of yours who are lesbians, I'm just saying, and you have a wedding, will you take them to home and say, Mom, these are my new couple friends? Will you do that? It's not possible because your society where you are raised does not endorse such things. What has made people get accepted is what society says. And I'm sorry to say this, most people have been enslaved to societal discussions than the word discussion. You understand? God considered that one as an abomination by itself. But you see, you can tell someone like that you are abominable because they don't know what led to their feelings like that. So what you need to address is what made them feel that way. What made them get attracted to that person? What made them have such a behavior? And what made them think they can sleep or be with the same sex? So that's why I told you sexuality is more than that. So you will not be quick to judge, you understand? But you should ask yourself, what was the feeling that will result to that? What were the thoughts that resulted to that? Yeah.
There's something you've said like, what is it that makes them okay to think of their sexuality in a certain direction? So let me just bring a practical example. Take an example of somebody who has been molested sexually, somebody who has been raped, somebody who has been taken advantage of. You see, these are scars that are one way or another caused by some elements in the society. And you find that after such an experience, if a person does not heal, they're bound to conform to certain trends in sexuality. So would you say that some vices in the society, or rather some experiences we have while in the society, such as rape, contribute to who we become? Because I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying a person exists out there. Some people who conform to lesbianism probably will tell you it's because maybe I was taken advantage of by a man and I didn't see need, or rather I didn't feel any more secure with the other gender and preferred rather to be with my own gender. So would you say incidences such as rape, such as shaming, define our sexuality at some point in life?
I won't disagree with that because I've told you again, sexuality is all about feelings, attraction, thoughts, and behavior. The woman has a right to feel what she felt, okay? think whatever she thinks. She has the right to think that way. But also, she has a right to seek guidance on that. You understand what I'm talking about? Now, that's why the Bible says, the Lord shall heal all our wounds. You understand? It doesn't speak only about healing our diseases. God talks about wounds. There are wounds which are irreversible, but only God can heal. You understand? But you see, if God can heal a wound, it should not be an excuse that you lead through that. Then it has to do with your choice. You understand? Because people, let me tell you, Miriam, even there are people who are married and are being raped by their own husband. Okay? There are men who are also being raped. We know about a story on TV, a man was raped. Serious, you know. People thought it's a joke. At how can a man be raped? You know? And it's serious, but now see, if the man says, because of the rape issue, I want to be marry another man, then it is all about his choice. But you see, if he decides to be healed from that wound, God can heal it. That's what I'm telling you. Like you're talking about the feelings, the thoughts, attractions, and behaviors. There's a solution for it. And God has provided a solution, as much it may sound so difficult or impossible. You understand? But one thing people also should understand, God never struggles with your will. Whatever you will to do, God will never contend with it. The Bible says that God will not contend with man. So when you say, I want to be like this, God, you see, Sodom and Gomorrah, those guys decided to sleep with the angels. God did not come and strike the people because they said so. God allowed them to do what they want to do. But tomorrow morning, fire came from heaven. It consumed all of them. Judgment was driven. You know what I'm talking about? But they had their choice. They could have, you see, all this, now see, let me say with all due respect to everyone who has gone through sexual abuse or any issues they have gone through outside there, all your wounds, God knows them better. Some people are not married because of these wound issues, you understand? Some people are not settled in their marriages because of this wound issue. And I'm not only talking about females also. I know some men, maybe they were abused. You are in boarding school and a fellow had a guy abused you and you're not confident about yourself. You understand? I was making a joke. I was telling some of the people, it's like, I remember the first 2 years I was in boarding school. There are some people who could not shower with other men. You know how bathrooms are. They will go and shower at night. Understand? And people will make fun of them all over the years, you know. So by the time that person live in school, they have also a mental trauma. So for their own deliverance, they need to decide to have it. So your wounds are ready to be healed, but your choice is what gives you healing. Your choice. You understand? But God cannot contend with your will. If now you want to be a lesbian, Miriam, there's nothing God will do. If you tell God, Daddy, you know, I was abused, I cannot do this, God will not do anything. He will leave it to your choice, but He will tell you, I have an option of healing your wound, of delivering you from that pain, of erasing that memory. He can do that for you. He can do that for you. Now, there's a story in the Bible, sorry, before I continue, a girl called Tamar, the daughter of David. She was raped. You understand? But the Bible never talked about her bad ending concerning her life. It was a story for us. See, these are things even the scriptures can record. They are there. But you see, from the same God, whatever went through, that I believe that lady was healed. That lady was cured. You understand? Judgment came upon this man, came up with the idea. You understand? So God can still heal your wounds and erase the memories. Is you can hold on the memories or allow it God to take over it.
Sure. Okay, so let me just look at a new angle of the discussion and ask you about, still on behavior. We have a way we perceive our image, There's that which makes us ashamed of who we are because of what society says. And you've said, Tamar did not have a bad ending, or rather, there is no record in the Bible where she had a bad ending. So my question to you would be, for those whose images or whose sexuality has been tainted so much by the society that they do not feel the confidence in who they are, how would you encourage them to embrace their sexuality as unique as it is?
The answer is so simple. Who do you run to when you feel
Mm-hmm.
your sexuality is not at par with you? The
Yeah.
woman who sinned, who was a prostitute, she ran to Jesus. And Jesus
Yeah.
wrote down and says, any of you who have not committed sin, throw the first stone.
Mm-hmm.
And who's Jesus? The word of God. If you know what God says concerning you, you will not allow people's opinion to say anything. The problem with
Yeah.
people is that they listen so much about what people say compared to whatever God is
Mm-hmm.
saying concerning their life. You understand? I'm not
True.
encouraging you to go and mess up and say, I know what God says upon my life. No. You understand what I'm talking about? And people will say
Mm-hmm.
about things. And also, you being comfortable with your body, you need to know what makes you fit. Now, I know there's this issue about weight loss and being fit and everything. But there are some people who also are praying for weight loss, gaining of weight. You understand?
Yeah, like
Yeah, because
me.
making. But you see now, you need to find comfort. I know there's some women who buy those bikers that make you look like you have a big hip, but it's a lie. You understand? So if you attract a woman, those fake bikers, a man, the day he marries you and you remove him, so he'll be confused. He'll look for deliverance. Well, you see,
Yeah. To ask for his cows back. You know, they paid for cows for size 34 and they're getting size 29. It's a problem.
so, but you see, that person has not discovered who they are. How you are
Yeah.
made and how you are wired, it's for your own satisfaction. When God said
True.
this thing was good. Have you ever seen a sparrow complaining, I want to look like an eagle?
No.
Because you see how you are wired. You see, if I desire now to be like so large and so big, I'll be wasting my time. You understand? Because how God has wired me is fitted for my society. I always say
Yes.
something, like I want to just make it. If God was supposed to make everyone in this world stand on one line, I believe we will have fit all of us, because God has given us different sizes so that you can fit in within the society. But if all of us look the same size, the same shape, most likely will not fit in the society. You understand what I'm talking about? So you must also try to find comfort within who you are. Don't allow people to define how you should look like. You define how you should look like. Yeah.
Amen. And so when we talk about us defining how we should look like, I think I've taken so many negative turns in these questions, but it's because I wanted us to like hey, get understanding. Now let me become positive for a moment. So the question here is let's talk about the you see, there are so many languages of love, yeah, that can contribute to how we view our sexuality. So I'm going to focus only on one language, words of affirmation. So how would you say positive words of affirmation contribute to how we view our sexuality? Does it help if people talk positively about us? Or, no, not even if people. Does it help if we ourselves talk positively about ourselves?
Yeah, honestly, sometimes the best mountain to address is you. Most of us are busy addressing mountains which are outside us. You're the first mountain you need to know to address yourself. If you can't address yourself, anyone will address you. If you don't have an opinion about yourself, any opinion will affect you. Understand?
Yeah.
Your opinion about yourself. You say, what's your opinion about your head, the size of your ears, the size of your hands, the shoe size? Some people complain I have a big shoe size. Understand? I have
I
a
have a
small.
small one. I thank God.
Now you see, there's someone else who cannot be feeling the same way. See, it's all about opinion. What do you say about yourself? What you say about yourself plays a big role on how you reflect to people. You understand? The words of affirmation sometimes, as much you may seek people to tell us what we should think, as much you seek people to tell us what we look like, sometimes speak to yourself. Like, with all due respect to women, you dressed well, very well, you look yourself in the mirror, but you come out and ask your husband, how do I look? What was your opinion before you came to me? Because I can tell you look okay, and you're disturbed because you want me maybe to tell you look slim. But the truth, whatever I'm saying, you are not looking small, you're looking big. You understand what I'm talking about? So your opinion about yourself plays a big role. So determine what you want to say about yourself before. Address yourself before people address you. If you can't address yourself, people will say anything and it will affect you. People will ask. So when it comes to your image, physical appearance, as a man, don't believe you I am short. There's no problem of you being short. Even Zacchaeus was located by Jesus. You understand? You can be tall, you understand, but you can fail to be located. You understand what I'm talking about? So height
No,
has
wait, did
nothing.
you just have to use that example? I please use another example.
No, but let me tell you that your height has nothing to do with the grace of God. The grace of God will still locate you. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it will still locate you. Zacharias has a good opinion about himself. He knew Jesus will look on his side. You understand? That
Yeah,
evaluate yourself first before people will evaluate you. Find value about
true.
yourself before people value you. Address yourself
Mm-hmm.
first before people address you. Have an opinion about
True.
yourself before. If you do that, you can never say, I
Mm.
will like someone to marry me, or I'm not attractive.
Uh-huh.
You will not be afraid to approach a woman. As a woman, you will not
Yeah.
be afraid to be approached by a man. You understand what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Most men are single because they are
Mm-hmm.
afraid to address women because they think they are ugly. Who told you you are? You understand? Most women feel like maybe they are not in the market, so they start fighting for extra attentions that are not needed to be because they never spoke to themselves. So speak to yourself. So height, weight, whatever it is, address yourself first. It is very
Yeah.
important.
Okay, so let me just give you a practical example of my life.
Mm.
My whole life I've always been very skinny.
Mhm.
The only times I gain a little bit of weight is when I go to the gym and I lift weights kidogo for a few months, and then either the money for the gym suddenly becomes a want and not a need, and then I deflate again. Now, my sister on the other side had a moment in her life where she tested the curvy side of life, you know, those well approved, and for some reason, or rather for some point in my life, it always affected me because I'd be like, yeah, I'm in my beautiful 20s right now, but then I would always feel like I'm more of a child, I'm not well developed, I'm not blah blah blah. But I think once I heard those words of the moment you place some worth on yourself is when people will view you with the same worth, I started believing it more. And honestly, nowadays I do not mind. I am comfortable with my 54 kg, and I thank God. Even yani those things, they end at some point. So generally, what I'm trying to point at is the value you put on yourself is the one people will put on you. So if you keep seeing yourself kwamba your body size is not perfect, or your boobs are not shaped in a certain way, or your bums are not big enough to a certain point, you will never be satisfied with your sexuality. But God says we are all unique in our own, like, is it physical, is it spiritual, is it mental? We are unique, and we generally need to we just need to embrace our uniqueness. So know your worth and embrace your uniqueness. Now, still on behavior, let me ask you another question so that we can move away from the angle of body image. So yes, sorry for cutting you short again, Pastor Abraham. I thank God first for the comments that are streaming in. Those who are laughing about our body weights and short men, it is okay, we understand. And I'm glad that somebody or someone out there is getting the communication. So I want us to take a very, very critical angle on the aspect of sexuality and behavior and abuse. We've already talked about abuse kidogo, but now let's broaden it. So look at people who are sexually abused. Are they prone to stay in abusive relationships because of the affirmations that they believe will come from their partners?
Yeah, I can say again, go back into it, your choice. Most people tend to follow habits, most people tend to follow habits of maybe, and you see people, the first experience anyone has as a girl or a man will always be remembered, Every one of us always remember our first girlfriend or our first boyfriend. It's surely the truth. So when someone goes to a relationship, they're looking for their first boyfriend in that relationship or their first girlfriend in that relationship. But again, people don't stay there because of a choice. So if you are facing abuse, you face abuse. Most people may tend to go that way, but some people will make a deliberate choice to have an opposite thing. You understand? I've been told people from a particular community, they believe if you don't beat a woman, you don't love the woman, So they believe that is the only way. Why are you lifting up your hand? Are you coming from there?
Yes, of course. Yes. Okay.
But some woman say like, uchapwe, the only thing happened that is God forbid. You understand?
Danny, Mimi, halfway. Oh my God. I
So,
understand.
yeah, so that's why I say affirmation in that area is because also the other thing you're exposed to it. Maybe you went through the same circumstance and most of your friends are going through it. You may tend to accept it as an order. Most people
Yeah.
have thought about a particular way, men are in this particular way or women are in this way. That's a lie. If you travel around, you'll find different breeds of people. So people tend to go back to their, let me say, what they think is adaptable for them or what they think they've already adapted to. But later maybe leads to crisis. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the truth of the
Yeah.
matter. Yeah.
Okay. So one last question on sexuality and behavior. As a father of a very beautiful daughter, and thinking about, let me just speak for the women. This is not a political campaign or anything, but how would you say we can help women who are in such abusive relationships to walk away and affirm that their sexuality is just perfect without the violence?
Without the violence, which, okay. I'll say women. I think women are the most vulnerable in the community because, with all due respect, women are very devoted people, okay? They commit themselves
Very.
into things. They're very devoted. But you see, there's a limit of devotion you must have. You understand?
Yeah.
There's a devotion that destroys you, there's a devotion that makes you. Most women, maybe they stay there because they're insecure or they don't want the process of understanding someone or someone knowing them again. You understand? And the other thing some women says that is because of insecurity. Okay. They think like, if I go now, leave now, or I stop now the relationship, how far will I go? Who else will marry me?
Yeah.
Who will propose me? So, and I think what makes women stay there most likely is usually insecurity. You know, they feel like, if I get out of here, I've already given myself to this man, all myself. Who else will want me the way I am? You understand? And I said there's hope. Even if it's a woman who's listening to me, maybe you have a child already, there's hope for you. You should not lose hope. You understand? You see, let me tell you, and let me repeat it again. People buy value. People don't buy the price. You should always understand that. If you're supposed to go for heart surgery now, I'm just giving an example. Will you look for a doctor who's leaving college now or look for a doctor who has been in the field for long? Obviously, you look for the one who's been there for long. But you see, if you look at the doctor who has been there for long, it will be very expensive. Is it true? But you look
Very
also,
true.
you compare your heart and you compare the doctor. It's better you go because your heart has more value than whatever the doctor is charging. All goes to back when it comes to sexuality as a young lady or whatever relationship you are in. What do you value or what do you think your value is? Don't be afraid that you will not get someone else. Ati kupata wanaume ni ngumu, wanaume wazuri ni ngumu. Who told you it's hard? It's not hard.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. So attach value to yourself. If you attach value to yourself, you'll be willing to start afresh. You understand? But don't sit there being beaten because you see, the more someone beats you or abuses you, they are shortening your life. You understand? You understand?
Yeah.
If you check those people who used to fight boxing, at a particular age, they are shaking. If all of us saw Muhammad Ali before he passed on, he was shaky because of the hitting. You understand? So if you sit in a relationship that someone abuses you, not only maybe physically with words, the Bible says, "I'll marry hardware good that benefit, but a broken heart, a broken spirit breaks the bone." You understand? When your heart is sick, you will be sick totally. So you find women having things like high blood pressure, hypertension, elephantiasis, ulcers. It's not because that they don't eat well. It's because there's a man who cannot be in peace. You understand what I'm talking about? So don't allow a man to belittle you. Don't think that you can never have a fresh start. Never think that.
Yeah.
You can have a fresh start on things. Yeah.
And then just a question on discrimination, yeah? a lot of people are scared about discrimination, like coming out to admit that, yes, despite how beautiful you think my life is, I still undergo violence in my house. So for these people who fear discrimination and don't come out to help, how exactly can we help them?
Just to go through discrimination.
Mm.
You see now, discrimination is for people who are short-sighted. I always say that. If you don't see far, you will always discriminate. You know, people who come and say, I can't eat beans because I am a chips girl. You're short-sighted, my
Wait
friend.
a minute. Wait a
What?
minute.
Oh.
But now if I can't eat beans just because maybe you know.
No, you're not seeing far, my friend. You should ask yourself, why have I served you beans? You see, that's why I'm saying discrimination. Like what people are saying here, Black Lives Matter. It's all about people that are short-sighted. If you see far, it's how you will handle things.
Yeah.
And all I'm telling you, when you feel discriminated in a particular area, realize you're dealing with people who are not seeing far. So try to develop yourself around people who see far. Understand? And people will be there everywhere. Wherever you go, you'll find people who discriminate genders, discriminate
True.
tribes, understand, discriminate maybe the kind of school you go to, who you live with, where you live, you understand? You hear people say, I'm from Kileleshwa, where are you coming from?
Yeah.
I'm coming from Pipeline, nasikia mtu anasema watu wa Pipeline wakae kando. You see, discriminators will be there. The reason they will be there is because they don't see far. And I want to tell you, if you're feeling discriminated, never take offense on yourself. Just understand the person who's handling you does not have the right eye. It's just here, it's not seeing far. That's the only thing I can say about discrimination. So don't beat up yourself if you're discriminated on one angle. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we've covered sexuality and behavior with regards to the questions that people had brought forth. So I want to go back to image because I don't know, do we still have time?
Yeah, we have a few minutes to go.
Okay, so image is broad on its own, yeah? But I want us to give people something to think about. So I'm going to ask a very controversial question.
Okay.
So please, nobody throw stones at me right now. I understand the importance of some things. Yeah, so let's talk about makeup. Makeup. Sexual or rather body enhancements. Like in a hip booster. You know, the actual injections, the silicones we want to go for plastic surgery so that we can have some silicone to increase us from an A to a double D, you know, such kind of things. Let's bring to the floor the connection between sexuality and makeup and rather body enhancements. Is it that we are not confident enough in who we are, or what exactly draws us towards those things? I'm not saying makeup is bad. Kindly don't beat me.
No, it's good for a woman to be presentable. Even the Bible says, Esther soaked himself in perfume for 6 months. You know, it's not a joke. You know, it's good to smell good. It's good to look good. You understand? But I would say it's also dangerous to change who you are. I know a lady who was too much of skin tone changing. Well, she wanted to be light, you know, and she died of cancer of the skin because of that, you know.
Yeah.
And I would say one thing: take care of yourself, groom yourself. It's important to groom yourself as a woman, as a man. Groom yourself. But I'll say be careful when it comes to changing the body elements. I don't support that. You know, I believe how your body is was wired for someone specific for you.
Yeah.
The moment you change it, you alter the person. For example, a man looking for a Subaru in the yard, and the only thing he finds fits, he will not buy because there's how a Subaru looks like. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So how God wired you is for your own design. That's why animals look the same, but they're all belonging to the animal. You understand what I'm talking about? People talked about white rhino. Where did the white rhino come from? But doesn't mean it didn't have a place. So I will say, I will not encourage you to change who you are. to change your body elements. Understand? Allow your body elements to be how it is, but groom yourself. You must groom yourself as an individual.
Yeah.
Don't look shabby. Don't look shaggy in the name of I am maintaining the image of God. Even God himself is organized. You understand what I'm talking about? So in terms of appearance, changing your size, taking injections, all those things have repercussions later. There's an age you'll reach, you will not be applying those things. Imagine how would you look like. Just imagine. So I will encourage you not to do that. Yeah?
Yeah. All right. And I want to read a few comments that Edna is sharing. Edna is a very beautiful friend of mine. She has the loveliest smile. It lights up a room. So Edna says, society has put some kind of standard to beauty, and women easily by feeling that they're enough if they don't have curvy areas. And I guess this is exactly what I was saying about myself a little while back. And I totally believe that at times for change to be possible, it has to begin with you. Just as you've said, anything we do to alter the body that we were given genuinely has very serious repercussions on us. And we rarely know this. And or rather, even when we know, we decide to be ignorant and just do them. And it comes to cost us in the end. So let me give you a short story, and then maybe we can relate it to this whole idea. You just reminded me of a story we used to be told Kitambo, which made me fear, like, enhancing myself and all that. So there was a woman who got an accident, and then she died. Then she was revived. You know those miracle stories.
Yeah.
But then when she was revived, she had maybe something like a cut on her face or something. It was different. So she went and did plastic surgery immediately before she left the hospital. Then when she was getting out of the hospital, she got knocked by a car and she died. Then she went to heaven, and then she asked God, Sasa, like, si ulikuwa ushanihili, mbona tena niligongwa? And then that story was saying, Aki, it was a story. Mi mtu asiseme nadanganya. It was a story. So God told her, because when you are crossing the road, the angel of death could not recognize you anymore. You are a different person.
Okay. Because she changed the face, man. Because she removed the face.
Because she changed. So I grew up getting so scared because I used to be like, Aki, if I change my face and then I go outside there.
Oh man. Yeah, but you see, most people, as I say, most of us we have passed our destiny members. You see, not every woman is beautiful with a curvy. Not every man is looking for a curvy person. You understand? You should know that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so don't work hard to be. The main thing as a woman, work hard to be comfortable the way you are. You understand? And that's why when it comes to sexuality, also you should understand, it's more about the soul. Nowadays, men are attracted to brilliant brains, not curvy people. You understand?
They want brain.
Curvy and everything in your head, who will marry you? People can take
nobody.
You understand? So
right now, everybody has reset their priorities. We are looking at brains.
Yeah. So take care of yourself. But I'm saying be comfortable the way you are. Miriam, the way you just gave me that story, don't go and put injections for you to have the round figure. If God has ordained that, don't go and do a breast enlargement for no reason. You understand? Don't do all those things. That's why I told you, imagine yourself when you're older, will you look like? And if you do this, if imagine the way God maybe wrote it, maybe this particular year, the angel will come and meet someone who looks towards a mark on his face on the left, and you remove the mark. The angels will fail to recognize you. You understand what I'm talking about? So that's to say, groom yourself, but don't change yourself. Find comfort with your body. Be comfortable.
No, I'm getting you. We are finding an angle between, like you're finding that balance between grooming yourself without changing yourself.
Yeah, don't do that. Groom yourself, but don't change yourself. You understand?
True.
You go to the salon, understand? Make sure you oil yourself properly, dress decently, you understand? You understand about things. As a man, also do the same thing. People will marry. You see, my wife did not marry me because I have six-pack. You understand? As I'm just talking about, we need a man who has six-pack. Let me tell you, even that you're not an expert. By the time you reaches 50, you'll have one pack. All things will have changed. And so will you continue living with him? You understand? So it's not about you changing yourself. It's a matter of you grooming yourself. You marry people who can develop themselves. People who can do PD, personal development. So sexuality is all about grooming yourself, not changing yourself. Find comfort within who you are. Have a good feeling, a good thought, a good behavior, and attraction towards yourself first before you expect people to do the same thing.
Okay, so for today, honestly, I'm getting here when I have a little bit more understanding of what we've been discussing than before. We've understood sexuality. We have understood a little bit about sexuality and behavior, and a little bit about sexuality and our image. There's one thing we've not covered, and I really want us to push it because it requires a presence of, not really a presence, but rather an open mind, where you are not on the defensive or on the offensive, but just open and willing to listen. And that is sexuality and our sexual orientation. But before we close, I want to ask you on parents or our guardians and their responsibility towards our sexuality, especially how we view ourselves or our body image. What is their responsibility?
Their responsibility is very high. Be careful what you tell your daughters and your son. Okay, if you tell your daughter you naka kama kijiko, you see, what are you doing to that girl? She'll grow thinking, she'll wake up in the morning, the day people say we are naka kama kijiko, she will think it is her. You understand? When it comes to sexuality, a woman knows she's so beautiful based on how she was taught by their parents. Every woman who look at the most courageous women in life, they received affirmation from their parents. They told them they are strong. They told them they are beautiful. They told them they are clever. They knew that. And parental opinions is the foundation for most people. Most men never receive any compliment from their parents at all. So even they don't know if they are handsome. You understand? So if you ask men, what is the definition of handsome? They will not tell you. But you ask them what's the definition of beauty, they know, because they had women being told they are beautiful and everything. So parental affirmation is very key. Affirmation is very key. You understand? If you have a child or you are living, maybe your guardians or anything, know how to speak to them properly. Don't call them names. Don't call them ugly. Don't call them you look funny. It will not help them at all. So I believe today we have had a blessed time, you know, and I pray by the grace of God, you know, like next week we'll continue deep on that. But be careful what you say. Be careful on what you say. And I pray you'll be blessed in Jesus' name. Thank you, Miriam, for coming through. We could take on part 2 next week by the grace of God.